What's up?
Did you mention the book signing? When he signed the book and he was like, I hope you get cancer.
So my roommate wants me to tell you guys there's a part in Joker 2. Arthur Fleck is like, he's like on the phone with his DA, I think. And one of the security officers is like, sign this for me, Arthur. And Arthur's like signing it. And then the other, he's like, oh, this is gonna be worth a fortune after they fry him. So then Arthur like crosses it out and says, I hope you get cancer, smiley face. And that was comedy. Back to where I started. Everyone knows Joker 2, the 2024 sequel to 2019's Joker 1, which features Lady Gaga as the supporting role as Lee, aka Harley Quinn. This isn't the first video I wanted to make for this channel, but I see that I've been left with no choice. I have no choice but to talk about Joker 2, which I think was really fucking good. People said I was crazy. They said Joker 2 sucks. And I said, it's a masterpiece. I think Joker 2 is actually brilliant. I saw it with my roommates, all three of them, last night. And they all said it sucked. And honestly, I went in fully expecting the movie to be hilariously bad, if not just regular bad. At first, I couldn't stop laughing, like every 3 minutes. I was like, this is just ridiculous. This is insane. These musical numbers are completely inorganic and out of nowhere. But as the film progressed, I unironically think it materialized into, if not a brilliant film, at least a brilliant concept. Quick synopsis for Joker 2. This will contain spoilers. Just a heads up. The general premise is Arthur Fleck, aka the Joker. He's in Arkham. He has a lawyer, a defense attorney, who's fighting for him to not be put to the death penalty, but he meets this other person in the psych ward in singing class named Lady Gaga, and by Lady Gaga I mean Lee, which is Harley Quinn. Most of the film is his defense attorney trying to help him, Harley Quinn manipulating him into being the Joker. As the film progresses into courtroom drama, which I honestly thought the courtroom scenes were great. A lot of people said they were boring. He fires his DA, represents himself. The warden and his compatriots in Arkham Asylum are watching his trial on TV, and he badmouths him. The security guards and the warden beat the fuck out of him. They waterboarded him, threw him in the hole. They killed a guy outside of his solitary confinement cell because some guy was like, oh, free Joker, the Saints go marching in, and then they just fucking kill that guy. And then the next day at court, he basically confesses. He actually confesses to a murder that wasn't even on record. He murdered his mom in Joker 1 or whatever. And then at the end of the film, right as the jury is giving his their verdict on him, which is so far guilty on 3 counts, I think. And then the side of the courthouse explodes. He walks out. He stumbles out. And he gets picked up by some people in Joker costumes. They drive him further into Gotham, and then he runs away. Harley Quinn dumps Joker, despite manipulating him the whole time, because he's not Joker, he's Arthur Fleck. In the last 5 minutes of the movie or so, Arthur Fleck is back in the cafeteria wearing his normal clothes, unshaved, which I think is important, because in the very beginning of the movie, they spend 3 minutes in this scene where the cops are shaving him, because he's meeting with his DA. The warden walks by, tips his hat. I feel like he doesn't hate him, which, if I know anything about cops, is that they have a lot of hate in their soul. Arthur gets up, walks on his way. This other guy goes up to him and tells him a joke. And it's something like a psychotic freak walks into a bar, sits down next to a sad clown. The punchline is, you get what you fucking deserve, and then he fucking shanks the fuck out of Arthur Fleck. And Arthur Fleck literally collapses and dies right there. And the film fucking ends. I feel like a lot of the film feels like it's so full of itself, but at the same time is genuine. I don't know how else to describe it. It's hard to tell how much of this film is genuine, how much of it is complete and utter satire. They don't expect a court drama. In my opinion, Joker 2 satirizes the first installment in the Joker duology. It satirizes the concept of comic book movies as well as traditional film convention. They attach a huge star. Not only a huge star, someone who's well known for being one of the greatest pop artists of all time. Literally the second queen of pop after Madonna. They brought in Lady Gaga, who is a great singer. But instead, what you get is lackluster singing, and Lady Gaga's barely in the film. It's yeah, you came here to watch Joker and Lady Gaga. Pfft, we'll give you a show. I bust out laughing in the theater many times within the first like 45 minutes or so. I was like, this is insane. This is like, what? I expected Lady Gaga crazy musical performance, not Lady Gaga making her voice crack for 5 minutes. As the film progresses, the musical numbers, they don't get more extravagant per se in terms of performance. A lot of the later musical numbers aren't, I'm here and I'm singing the plot, this is exposition. Instead, it's like a fantasy of the Joker and Harley Quinn being like comedians or a stand-up talk show host, basically being like, the day is ours. It takes the idea of a musical, which is, you know, the characters sing to progress the plot, and instead is like, these songs don't really have anything to do with the plot per se. It's all about in here. And a lot of the film, they talk about Arthur spent a lot of his life in his own fantasy world. In Joker 1, he imagines an entire relationship with this woman. I don't think it's out of the question for that to happen in Joker 2. And it's almost entirely contingent on like the last like 5 minutes or so. Hey, no, kitty pet. Don't. Kitty pet's playing with my power cord. What the heck? Okay. This last scene is incredibly crucial to my analysis and my opinions. Well, not my opinions, but most of my analysis of Joker 2, which is that at the end of the film, Arthur Fleck is unscathed, even unshaved compared to when he was shaved for most of the court scenes and stuff. He is chilling, watching cartoons in the like common area. The warden tips his hat to him, which is a very respectful thing to do. I think that the majority of Joker 2 happens inside of the mind of Arthur Fleck. To me, it kind of gave like American Psycho energy. Like at the end of American Psycho, Patrick Bateman is all like, he's talking to his lawyer, and his lawyer's like, this isn't very funny anymore, which causes Patrick Bateman to give his whole monologue about how there's no catharsis or whatever. This confession has meant nothing. My interpretation of American Psycho, I don't think he killed most of the people in the movie. Everything that he thought he did were just drawings in his like daily like planner. I haven't read a lot of like Reddit opinions or whatever, but I swear to God, there's a kernel of truth in Arthur Fleck imagining most of the events of Joker 2. I was reading like what Tarantino said about it, and Tarantino was on the Bret Easton Ellis podcast, the fucking podcast of the man who wrote the book American Psycho, and he was like, it's genius, it's hilarious, whatever. So to me, I feel validated in saying Joker 2 is like a postmodern version of American Psycho. So my final thoughts before I sign off, and hopefully I can comb through this and make a coherent video. Joker is a satire on everything, maybe even satire itself. I genuinely do think that Joker 2 is a postmodern masterpiece, a brilliant work of satire, also very genuine and sincere.